Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Kingsport 1927, our fourth and final episode. Once again, I'm joined by our fabulous cast. Short one player, once again, we miss Serafina and wish her well. So let me start tonight by introducing this fabulous cast. So I'm going to start with the one person who gets to GM me with any regularity. And when you reach a certain point in your GMing career, that's very often high praise because you can't stand anybody else GMing you. So please, let's welcome Lisa Paddle, who is playing Vrijeme, our Cerberus.
Lisa Paddle, she, her pronouns. Vrijeme is using he, him pronouns. And he is a Hound of Tindalos in human form who has recently fallen in love with Wilbur Whately. Because, who wouldn't?
Well, the irony is that considering how he dies, for a Cerberus to be the one who falls in love with him.
Okay, fair.
The heavy hand, I would say it's the heavy-handed hand of Lovecraftian irony, except Lovecraft didn't do irony. He really didn't understand that. So let's move on next to the beating heart and bleeding soul of the Kingsport Drama Society, our own dear Daryl, who is playing Phoebe, yet another Greenwood. What are you? You're our Serpentine.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Hello. My name is Daryl. My pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Phoebe Greenwood, whose pronouns are she, her. As we established, she is the Serpentine. The only thing truly snaky about her is her family and legacy, because it's the Greenwoods. And but that does mean that she has the power to mesmerize people with her good looks and charm, which is, I'm sure, what she actually thinks it is. But last time, she established that there were a whole bunch of other Greenwoods over in Dunwich and actually met up with them and had a rather enlightening conversation. And that has given her some things to think about with regards to her purpose and the way she's going to fix everybody's problems, because she's a fixer. She'll figure it out. Everything will be fine.
You're the Black Sox scandal of Phoebe of Greenwoods. And last, most decidedly not least, if for no other reason than they get to play two characters today, apparently, please let's welcome Leandro, who is playing Agnes Murphy, and Agnes Murphy are witches.
Yeah. Hi, Leandro. UCM pronouns. Agnes Murphy uses she, her pronouns, both of them. Agnes Murphy used to be just a norm girl who wanted to be something a bit weirder and darker because her parents weren't. And so went down a path, didn't expect this, where she's basically positioned against herself, thanks to weird time paradox nonsense and darkest self hex sabotage. She's now positioned against herself, one of whom is not in her darkest self. 2 sessions ago, one of them proposed teaming up, but then they spent the majority of last session plotting against each other. So, which I think both of them knew was going to happen. So, who survives? I have no idea. We'll see. I mentioned this what was happening to a group of friends in between sessions, and one of them was like, are these two gonna kill each other? Are these two gonna make out? And I'm like, I am not gonna roll plus hot against myself. I don't think that's how this works.
That the way that could tie this all off in a neat bow is both of you could die.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll play to find out. I'm not against it. Played characters who have died in the past. Well, because one of them was they were ghosts, so came with the territory.
Several of them suffered fate's worse than death, probably. So.
Yeah, how's Ava Morgan doing? In Under the Ocean, in Dread Cthulhu City. Who knows?
I was just thinking about the Russian games, but sure, we could go to the Cthulhu stuff too. So shall we begin? When last we left off, amidst the general Schrecklichkeit, it seemed that Phoebe had been seized with purpose and was planning to return to Kingsport from good old friendly Dunny. I can't believe we finally got to Dunwich. It only took 11 different series, but we finally actually got there. And maybe now we're leaving. So what's the plan? My non-Scoobies, because you're working against the Scooby gang this time?
Well, as de facto head of the Ghoul Squad, I'm just going to say that I think that like Phoebe has probably like seized Vrijeme by the hand and like dragged him out and like has made their way back to the buggy without explaining anything, and it's like, we're going back to Kingsport.
Yes.
Just no arguments. Good. Yeah. Phoebe probably had like a whole like thing worked up, was gonna just like be like, this is why we have to go back and don't argue with me, and then Vrijeme just like, yeah. I'm like, taking the wind out of my sails.
What do you do when there is someone you care about and you want them to understand that you care about them?
Well, there are many things that a girl can do to show a fella that she's attracted to him, but come to think of it, they're all kind of weird if a man does them.
Any of them would be weird if I did them.
I mean, true, so let's give it a shot. While this is happening, she is like, slapping the reins and like driving them out of Dunwich. And says, well, one thing that you could do is you could drop your pencil case in front of her and see if they pick it up.
Wouldn't they have to go to our school for that?
Oh, if they don't go to our school, it's much more complicated. Okay, so you have to arrange a party, and then you have to make sure that you invite one of their friends, and you tell them to bring friends, so that there's a greater likelihood that they will bring the person that you want to see.
I don't think he has friends.
Oh. Well, also, okay, if it's a man, and I'm thinking like a man now, invite him on a hunting trip. Papa goes on hunting trips to the woods all the time.
That would either go very well or very badly.
I mean, you don't actually have to go hunting. You just ride around on horses and joke about the seasons, or how hard it is to catch a fox, or who has the better hounds.
And if they are out of town, I would write an invitation letter.
Well, you certainly know how to pick them, don't you? Okay, out of towner. Then yes, you have to orchestrate some way for you to be in the same town. Well, one thing I like to drop in unannounced and say that my buggy has a problem. Sometimes I'll take a tree branch and hit the wheel a couple of times.
Oh, is that how it broke down last time?
I mean, that's a secret between you and me, okay?
Yes. So,
anyway, you would want to get invited into the house, possibly stay overnight, depending on how long the repairs might take, and then make sure that you are eloquent and charming at dinner. Oh, we should practice eloquence and charm.
I would not want to go into the house without an invitation. That would be very, very bad.
Yes, it would. Beyond the usual ways, does it not add up? Is it math again?
Well, it's math, but it's math you understand. The family is protective of each other.
Oh, is he betrothed already?
I don't think so. I should find out.
It's always good to know if someone is technically spoken for before you go and try to break up an engagement.
There are things that are set that he is bound to. Yes, these cannot be broken. I'm looking for the spaces, the
Are you saying you want to
loopholes.
have an affair?
I don't know. Is that what I'm saying? That maybe I want to be there for him when there is no one for him.
An affair. Okay. Well, then that makes things so much simpler. All you have to do is just, arrange. Actually, the best way to do it is for the both of you to get out of town. Arrange something up in Boston, or out. Say that you're going sightseeing in the. Go on a trip to take in the rural and pastoral sites of the county, and find yourself mysteriously waylaid on a side road in a small town that only has one hotel with one room and one bed.
A town that is neither of our towns.
Yes, that's generally how it works, because if you're in the town that one of them lives in, you have to stay at their house.
Oh, yes, I see. Because the boarding house would have a problem with that because, yes, that makes sense. That balances.
And that's where you take the tree branch that I mentioned earlier and just give the wheel a couple whacks.
Thank you.
You have given this entirely too much thought, Phoebe.
She's a very determined girl. She gets what she wants.
Let's find out where the Agni are, and then maybe we can put Phoebe and Vrijeme arriving at the same time, and that will be fun. So as I recall, Agnes Prime is with the professor in his group.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Agnes was, what was Agnes doing?
Other Agnes is got that
Oh yes,
modified device.
that's right.
And is trying her best to not fiddle with it, because she was expressly told to not fiddle with it, even though she really wants to fiddle with it. It would be really nice. I think that Agnes is probably waiting for Phoebe and Vrijeme, while Agnes Prime would still be hanging out with the professor. So I can go with either of them.
I did not expect that we would also end up getting in the into the Star Trek episode where Captain Kirk got split into good and evil halves. So
it's
the buggy makes its way through town, and I guess you intercept it in near the Greenwood house. I guess that's fun.
yeah. Agnes, original Agnes would probably be waiting for them there. She looks agitated for sure, nervous, twitchy. Sees the two of you. Probably would have wanted, but is probably glad to have missed that entire conversation. I think she's got like a hand in a pocket and still clutching that timepiece, because she's not gonna leave that anywhere. That modified time globe. And just kind of giving the two of you like this stare, like, where the hell have you been? Or how's things? You're muted, Daryl. We can't hear you.
Of course. Yeah. So Phoebe jumps down from the buggy and then turns around and spots me and says, "Oh, Agnes, you scared the devil out of me. Why do you look like that? So anxious and nervous and twitchy?"
But, well, should I not be, given what we're doing, given what
They
we're
threaten
planning?
you?
Well, the big loudish man did wave a gun in my face. That did happen. No, I've tried to keep away from them. Though they've been busy going about Kingsport. It's almost like they own the place. Out of towners are. How have the two of you been? How's your trip?
Fine.
Fine.
Yes, I discovered that the house that young, forget his name, what was it? Was goodness.
It is so
Philip.
appropriate that you forget his name.
I have discovered that the house that young what's his name? I'm sticking with it. Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah, that young what's his name died in is actually the Moore House. The old haunted place out on the side of town.
And they warned him from it. They told him it was a dangerous place and he should not go. And it had nothing to do with anything in Kingsport. These people are bullies. They're coming here because they're afraid to go there, and they should be afraid to go there.
Okay, that's good. Do you think then that if they could get some kind of closure in their little haunted house, would that be enough to drive them away?
Oh, I don't think that they'll get closure. I think the house will close on them.
Yes. Yes, I think so too.
It turns out that the place is haunted by an old ghost by the name of Ephraim Moore, apparently someone from the olden days of Kingsport history. And, well, it's all poppycock, of course, except perhaps it's probably not. But yes, so how do we get them to go there? And how do we get them to do it without taking any special precautions to protect themselves? We can just let the problem take care of itself.
Well, the easiest way will be to force their hand. They're like moths. They're very, they're easy to distract.
But they know where this house is. They know where he died. They're not going there.
I think with a big enough fire, they'll go wherever they're...
I am not setting that house on fire.
Vrijeme, no one has suggested that you set the house on fire.
Okay.
It's an expression.
Okay.
I'm going to get you a book on idioms very soon.
Okay.
You don't have to set anything on fire. Yeah, as Greenwood said, it's a metaphor.
Okay.
Just need to. They're after spooky stuff. As they claim, we're just gonna have to create spooky stuff, lead them to the house, and whenever the hell did in Mr. Liebnick looks at Phoebe. Whatever did, whether it's this ghost of yours. Agnes doesn't know who Ephraim Moore is. Whether it's this ghost of yours, it'll be. Well, it'll take care of itself. Yeah. Or it'll be enough to drive them away, give them answers, whatever. The sooner they're out of here, the better.
Well, I think we should make sure.
Make sure in what way, Greenwood?
I mean, it would be a terrible tragedy if they went in and never came out, and...
We have to break the wheels of their buggy?
Not quite the appropriate use, but close enough. Yes, if the wheels of their buggy get broken and they have to stay in the house, then the house can do as the house will. And
they
if
have
the
a
house...
car. Cars' wheels are harder than buggies.
But cars have engines and...
Oh. Engines are fragile, really, when you think about it.
Yes, it'll be the equivalent of I don't know, me taking someone's liver. It'll keep him in place for sure.
Dark, but I like it. Let's keep working with this.
That means we would need to go there. Because if there's no point to their car breaking down anywhere that isn't there.
Of course. We need to get them to the house, seclude them in the house, and then finish the job if the house doesn't.
Grand. That sounds absolutely grand. Should we see this house first, or should we see where they are?
Well,
Not be inside that house.
Are you scared of ghosts, Vrijeme?
When you say ghost, what is your concept of ghost?
They're a remembrance, at least from my perspective. They're just
No, we're
echoes.
not talking about that kind.
Right.
We're talking about power.
Agnes's eyebrows lift. Uh-huh. You've not been to this house and you've already have a decent idea of what kind of power it has?
People who know more about this house and who do not have reason to lie to me have told me enough that I do not want to anger whoever or whatever is inside the house. I will not stand in your way if you want to go inside the house, but it is very foolish.
Fine, Vrijeme, if you want to stay outside and keep watch like a good little guard dog, you can totally do that. You can absolutely do that.
I never figured you to be one who got scared by ghost stories, Vrijeme, but if we need to take care of this, we will.
We're not trying to take care of ghosts or ghost stories. We're trying to take care of people if ghosts don't. There's no reason for us to clash with ghosts.
We're not going to do anything to the ghost. It'll be fine.
I know that.
Then what's the tension, Vrijeme? What are you scared of? What do you think we're going to do there?
I'm not scared of what you're going to do there. You haven't been to Dunwich, have you?
I haven't had a reason to go. Why? What's there to see? If I remember correctly, they do a nice trade in charms or dried leaves or whatever else could be up there.
The whole town is protective of its own. They like that nobody goes there.
Well, they sound terribly closed in.
If you had the thing that you wanted, if you had the power that you wanted, and you had a place that was your place, and somebody came in from the outside, you wouldn't be happy that they were there. It's like that. They're where you want to be, where you may be someday. Am I making sense?
Says Agnes. Like that. Just about. But we're not here to tamper with ghosts or annoy them or anything. We're just here to lead the others who want to tamper so that they be tampered and the ghost will take care of them. If the ghost doesn't take care of them, we'll take care of them. That's it.
Okay.
Okay? There's no need to complicate this any further. We're not here to debate at them. We're just here to get this done. Are you okay with that, Vrijeme, or do we have to keep talking about this?
I don't mind getting them out of this town and into another town. I don't
Maybe
mind
better off.
finding a job.
You don't mind much, do you?
I mind some things.
I think like Agnes gives you like this rather contemptuous kind of like look. And
I mind bullies, and they're bullies.
Aren't you sweet? Gives you a
Am
pat
I?
on the cheek. You're terribly sweet and you're quite single-minded, which is adorable, I guess.
Oh, good. I don't know. You tell me.
It's more of a shutdown, I feel. Agnes is being quite condescending to Vrijeme.
Please.
Which is ridiculous because Agnes is the normal human being who has maybe some maths knowledge.
Don't let me stop you from rolling.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let me see. I think I'm preying on one of Vrijeme's conditions, just to flag that, because you've got weirdo and insecure. Okay. How is this Agnes's cold? Ugh, not great. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a 9.
It is. Do you have a string? You can make it a 10.
Ooh, I do have a string.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll spend that string.
Congratulations, you're the proud, happy owner of a 10 on Shut Someone Down. Please choose one of the items, and you will not take a condition in return because you're stone cold.
Yeah, I think, let's see, what does Vrijeme have? You have 2 strings in me. I get rid of one of them. I'd like to get rid of one of them. Why am I ordering you around? I'm sorry. The power's getting to me. Yeah. I think Vrijeme loses a string on Agnes. I think I should clarify. All strings on Agnes works on both Agneses. I should clarify that. It's just that there'll be different reactions between them. But
yeah, life is too short for me to start figuring that out.
Yeah.
Besides, it seems to have been already established.
Okay, so I lose one string on Agnes, and I don't worry about which Agnes, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Do I also get a condition?
No, you do not.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've already established that there seems to be a synchronicity between the 2 Agneses. That when it becomes, if one is hurt, then it becomes easy to hurt the other.
I think, Agnes patted you in the cheek and it's like, should we get moving? Greenwood? Vrijeme?
Phoebe's already turned towards the house and is just like, I'm going to just let them fight.
Let them fight. Cool. Yeah, so what is, are you guys planning to leave immediately, or what was this whole plan about? Are you going to go find these people and take them away?
I'm just trying to figure out what the plan is, since I've gotten half a plan here, but...
So the plan that I suggest is that we stage a moment to be overheard by the investigators in the boarding house just outside their door, so that they use those, listening skills and those eavesdropping skills to hear that we are going to go to the Moore House to complete the great work tonight.
Shouldn't we be doing that in the soda shop so that the woman can overhear and go to them so that they can hear it from her?
Oh, no. The flapper is too much of a ditz. We need to make sure that the message gets to the people who are really in charge.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So who is going to go and deliver this little poisoned purloined pen letter?
Can Agnes Original do a thing before this?
Yes, absolutely. I think that, of course, I feel like it's highly likely that Agnes Prime is going to be at the boarding house with them.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think Agnes Original wants to know where Agnes Prime is. So
Are you going to gaze
sound
into the abyss?
one of them is. Agnes Original is going to do that. Agnes Prime also wants to know where Original Agnes is, but that one is going to cast a hex. Because she's at the board. Yeah, okay. Hold on. Yeah. Cat, stay with me. Stay with me here.
The thing is you obviously, as we've pointed out already, you quite clearly have a sympathetic token from, each of them have a sympathetic token on the other. But I should point out that technically, don't you guys have a string on each other? Like, constantly?
That would,
I don't know. Maybe not mechanically. Maybe you guys. Maybe you need to shut each other down. No one say it. No one say it. We are not at home to that one today.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. I think it's just like Agnes Original is too keyed up to go to a deep sleep to find out where Agnes Prime is. Well, Agnes Prime is over at the boarding house, hanging out with Chloe and the gang. That's love that band. And it's probably tired enough to I can do it like sleep, so I can find out where myself are. If that's okay, those two actions.
Yeah, please, whichever order you want. So you're doing one gaze into the abyss and one hex, 2 dark rolls.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's start with gazing
You
into
get a
this while
side
we're
salad
here.
with that, I think. So.
Lovely. So while we're at the Greenwood house, Agnes Original is gonna take some time to step out into near some trees or whatnot. I mean, I'm imagining Greenwood house near woods for some reason. If not, correct me. Agnes is gonna the way she's gonna gaze through this one, and her question is rather simple. It is, what? Yeah, she's looking for what Agnes Prime is doing, and she's doing this by taking a bunch of small sticks and arranging them in the cracked pattern of her mirror from home, and kind of reenacting that, but out in the woods. She probably can't replicate that crack in a mirror somewhere in the Greenwood house, and Phoebe would flip if I probably ruined any of the mirrors in the house. So I'm gonna roll that.
Gazing into the abyss.
That's snake eyes.
Okay, just for fun, let's find out what happens with the hex.
Okay. Cut to Agnes Prime, who is probably sitting in a chair in boarding house, listening, pretending she's listening to Chloe. And which she figured, all right, this is the easiest way to fall asleep. It's probably listen to Chloe. So she's still hugging to herself those scriptures that she kind of winkled out of that old priest, which are kind of underneath her aprons. And she's using the apron because they're owned by both Agnes. To go into a deep sweep, and begin try to see the world through the eyes of the other Agnes. Oh, I see why you want to do this hex then. Okay, lovely. Okay, let's see how this one goes. Wow, rolled a 2 and a 1 that time. So that's also a miss.
How entertaining. So one is a hex, one was Days into the Abyss. And your goal in both cases was you wished to find out what was going to happen, and one of you is in your darkest self. Fantastic. This is what happens. Original Agnes, with a start, you realize that you're sitting on a cot shoved into the corner of a boarding house, hugging to yourself this book. Agnes Prime, with a start, you realize you're staring at a mirror in the House of Greenwood.
Oh my god.
You seem to have transposed yourself in space, not time.
Wow. Okay. Let me think about a moment. Meantime, I think Phoebe said they'd like to run into Dad while I try to untangle this.
Wow.
Yes, Phoebes.
Am I with Phoebe or am I not with Phoebe? I'm good either way as long as I know.
I kind of want like a father-daughter scene.
Then I'm not.
Yeah.
All right, so you find Philip. He's in his office with a glass of claret, staring at the stack of books, just shaking his head. You know that he's probably been looking through the financials again.
I had not intended to run into my father. I was hoping to find a weapon in his study of some sort, just in case, because I need to make sure that everything's taken care of, and I can't rely on the forest to do it. So I say, Daddykins, you're already at it, I see.
Yes, sorry. I just left the office early. That professor did not bother to show up today. I don't understand. We allotted time for the lecture, and we all looked rather foolish, but so it goes. I'm sure absent-minded professor is, after all, proverbial.
Daddy, what can you tell me about the Dunwich Greenwoods?
The Dunwich Greenwoods? Well, our side of the family doesn't have much to do with those anymore. They're all, how shall I put it? Atavistic, I believe is the correct term. They're, they have chosen their path. They wish to stay in Dunwich. Have you ever been to Dunwich? It's nothing. It's compared to them. Why, Franklin Greenwood had the right of it. Moved back to Kingsport. Set up in business. I just wish I had given my great grandfather my grandfather a better showing of it.
Now, Daddy, of course that you can't hold yourself accountable for that. I mean, the family does the best it can. As you know, we are trying to do a lot of things to find our way back to the top.
Well, yes, I don't know that financially we're going to get out of this. Perhaps if I speculated on the stock market like some have asked me to. It said that you can make a very easy fortune that way.
Well, there are a number of ways that one can make a fortune, Daddy, and I think that it's better to go on a sure bet than it is to gamble with our fate.
Well, do you know of a sure bet, my dear?
No, but if you have faith, something will come along.
Ah, well. The Greenwoods have not been a very traditionally faithful family, I think you'll find, my dearest one. Though, of course, your mother insists on us going to services every weekend.
Well, that wasn't quite the faith I was talking about. Daddy, why are all those things in the attic? Those ones that belong to Great Uncle Finch.
You've been in that room? That room is probably not a good idea for you to go to.
It's just a room in our house, Daddy.
Your great uncle was a very strange man. A committed bachelor. And ran away to Europe with the whole bohemian set. It was very much of the decadence. That room has always been imbued with strange energies. When Franklin built this house, he insisted on taking some of the beams from other Greenwood properties, including some of the house and the old house in Dunwich, which no longer stands, and even that little store that your namesake. I don't know if I've ever talked to you about her. You had a namesake, a great aunt named Phoebe.
You don't usually talk about the family, Daddy.
Well, our family is rather unsavory sometimes. Now we are respectable, but it's all of a thing. I mean, once the Pembletons were extremely wealthy and successful, now look how far they've fallen on times.
I realize that I'm still not getting anywhere with where I want to, so I just cross the desk or across the room, and I run a hand across over the desk, and I call out Daddy. And when he looks up at me, I blink and my eyes go all gold.
Here we go. I don't think I've ever seen a serpentine use this power almost exclusively on their own family.
Here we are.
Please to roll. Thank you.
There's something funny about it being snake eyes.
Okay. How would you like a big glass of Hawaiian Darkest Self?
Bring it on.
I think when you look into your father's eyes, because this is the first time you've really tried to use it on another Greenwood, right?
Right.
His eyes just go gold and reflect it right back at you. He doesn't even think about it. He may not even notice it. It was just a reflex action. But yeah, the human and serpent worlds are too different, and you'll never be able to reconcile their demands. The only way out is to choose a side as decisively and irrevocably as possible. Watch carefully and quietly for an opportunity, then strike, regardless if you needs to be hobbled or devoured in the process. The only way to make the world simple again and find your place at last. You escape your darkest self when you accept your complicated place in the world, or when you molt. That's an interesting one.
We had a good run of it, kids.
And so dies the dream of the nice Greenwood.
So does Daddy say anything? Or is he so out of it he doesn't even...
He just says, I mean, when you come down to it, dear, if you're asking me about the Dunwich Greenwoods, I don't want to have anything to do with them except for one thing. They are Greenwoods, and therefore we must protect them against everyone else. Because this one thing that's been true of our entire history in this benighted province, It's always the Greenwoods against the world.
Of course, Daddy. And to that end, I walk over to the trophy rack on the side, and I just pull down a shotgun. And I say, I need to go defend the Greenwoods now.
With a shotgun?
Every little bit helps.
And he looks very sad and upset, but the strange thing that you'll figure out at some point in the future when you're not in your darkest self. He almost looks as if he expected something like this. And he just says, are you sure you don't want me to do this for you?
No, Daddy. It's time you and Mumsy realized that I'm just as capable of cleaning up a mess as you are.
Yes. She told me you'd say that.
And I stride out of the room.
Cool. Who do you run into when you stride out of the room? We have several highly interesting choices who are lurking around this house.
I would love to run into... I mean, yeah, let's just accelerate this puppy. So I run into Agnes Prime.
You'll spot Agnes Prime looking at like the window. She's touching her cheek that doesn't have the wound anymore.
I never struck you as somebody who would want to continuously check their makeup, Agnes.
Greenwood. So that's no, I was just checking for something. You have a shotgun.
Yes. If all does not go well, I intend to take care of the problem. We've had this discussion.
Wow, I didn't know you were gonna go to such extreme lengths.
This is extreme?
Well, I can certainly think of some other extremes, but this, I see you're committed. I think you notice that like this Agnes has somehow doesn't have that angry fuck everything kind of like vibe she was projecting. This one looks way more unsure, very discombobulated looking.
Yeah. Well, I'm in my darkest self, so I'm going to just step forward and like right up into Agnes Prime's personal space and lock eyes in a very confrontational, very non-Phoebe way, and blink and my eyes go golden, and I'm going to say, why do you suddenly hesitate? And that is barely a 7. Yep.
This will work as long as you talk like Moira Rose, baby. No, it'll work as long as you hiss, or the Greenwood equivalent of hissing.
Yes, and I don't even care. My voice takes on that like breathy wind quality, and even my hair starts to flutter around me. Actually, it's almost as if like a breeze has come through like the open door, even though there is no breeze because the candles don't flicker and the curtains don't move. But my hair starts to billow around me a little bit, and I get that windy, breathy. What makes you hesitate?
Hesitate? I don't even know what I've signed up for this time. I've had quite a day. I think Agnes is like speaking rather rapidly because she doesn't know what's compelling her to like say this. I don't know what's happening. I remember talking to the two of you at the shop. You dragged me out of the out of work, and then I came back to work, and then out flying from an alleyway comes another me, and who drags me to an alleyway. We get into a fight, and she comes babbling with notions about stealing books, and trying to hoodwink people, and I'm just here trying to sort it out. And now I was there, and now I'm here, and apparently I assuming she signed up to do something drastic, and what the hell did you do to me?
Without blinking, I level the shotgun under your chin and I say, I have another pawn in this game and you're going to play along, right?
I'm going to cast a hex. For this, Agnes, I took the advance. Take all remaining hexes.
It makes sense. You've been reading that stupid book all the time.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna try to bind Phoebe. I mean, it might be fungible because she has a gun.
You don't have a.
Oh yeah. It says physically. Yeah, that's true. Okay, never mind. I'll do. Let's see. Either wither.
Hang on.
Illusions
Let me. Well, yeah, wither is horrifying.
Yeah.
Binding.
Yeah. Binding specifically says physically.
Well.
Yeah.
I mean, shooting somebody is physically harming them, isn't
That's
it?
true. That's true. Okay, I'll still do that because that sounds like it'll annoy Phoebe. If this works. Don't know. Okay. So you say that, and
You don't have
Agnes,
a sympathetic token,
yeah. I'm just staring right into their gaze and chanting at them with tongues in response to them hissing at me.
Yeah, the only thing I'm trying to figure out is whether you're going to need to keep your cool since somebody jammed a shotgun under your chin.
That is true.
I think you do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and let's see what happens. This will be entertaining. Maybe you'll get another XP. Just in time to wait it out because you're gonna need it.
Yeah. Who knows? Okay. Let's see. My cool is crap. So I'm afraid of. Well, it's not hard. I'm kind of afraid of being jerked around by another. Jesus, poor Agnes, being jerked around by everyone's darkest self. That's a 5.
Okay, fun. So, you're trying to remember the words of the spell, and you're kind of fumble-tongued, and I think Phoebe, who knows you're a witch, can see what you're doing, probably without thinking about it. That one of the hammers slides back on the shotgun, and at that moment, Cordelia Greenwood is on the landing of the stairs. He goes, Phoebe Greenwood, what are you doing? Young lady, we do not use shotguns in this house.
I don't drop the shotgun, but I do turn my gaze toward my mother, which technically means that it's broken with Agnes. And I say, I haul around. I'm just going to see how this is going to go. I haul around and I say, oh, shut up, Mumsy. At least one of us is here to actually take care of things.
Roll plus hold.
That is a 10.
Holy cow. Awesome. What are you going to get? What are you going to do to her?
I'm going to take a string on her.
Okie dokie.
And I'm going to tell her, I'm going to spend it immediately. And I'm going to tell her, now get up here and help me tie this one up.
Assuming I fail that roll, I can't really run away from this moment.
No,
though...
you could totally run away.
Okay, all right, yeah, I assume so because Phoebe's distracted. But my volatile is also crap. So. This can only end well. That's an 8. Oh, good.
Yeah, no. Tell me which one you want while I think about this.
There's a lot going on, yeah. Okay. Ooh. I mean, running to something worse is always fun.
It is.
Leave something behind. I have that thing in my. I have that thing that the other Agnes brought with her.
Ah, yes, the time cube.
The time cube. That's a fun thing to leave behind,
isn't it? Though.
Yeah, isn't it? You know what? I'm gonna leave that.
Awesome. All right, so you're running. Cordelia looks at you, Phoebe, and just says, "I should have known the Greenwood blood would come out eventually." You
sound like a broken record, Mumsy. And now she's gotten away. Do you think if I was holding someone at gunpoint, I might have had a reason?
I don't know what reason you would have found. It would have been a bad one, just like your bad family. How I regret marrying into this brood.
And how I regret you did too.
Well, roll them dice again.
I was just going to use it as a parting bon mot, but...
I think it deserves it.
It's a flat 10. It's an 11.
Choose one.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to take one forward. Yeah, I'm just going to hold one.
That seems like a good plan. So are you taking off after Agnes?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I pick up the time. There's, of course, that scene where I pick up the time cube and I turn it over in my hand and I look at it and I slide it into my dress pocket because it's fiction and my dress has pockets. So, yep. And then I'm going to run out and, like, I assume bumble into Vrijeme.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Vrijeme, how much of a connection do you have with the Shining Tapahedron?
I'm thinking that up till this point, Vrijeme's been distracted what with one thing and another and then the falling in love. But for argument's sake, as soon as it hits the ground, let's say Vrijeme sort of perks up from where he's been writing math and stuffs everything in his pockets and heads out to figure out what just burped the time and probably runs into Phoebe.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Where did Agnes go?
Wasn't she with you?
No, apparently there are two of them. And apparently they did some sort of switcheroo, and the one who is here was working with the investigators and now knows about our plan to murder them.
So who do I need to murder first?
The Agnes who is not working with us.
Okay.
How you're supposed to tell the difference, I don't know. The one who is less angry, more shifty.
Okay. The less angry Agnes is the one who needs to die.
Yes. But
okay.
If in doubt, just kill both of them.
I warned her. I warned her not to do this.
We are doing this to defend Kingsport, and if Agnes is not going to help do that, then
yes.
Agnes doesn't need to live in Kingsport anymore.
Yes. There's just one thing I don't understand.
one thing.
Agnes does not want to be in Kingsport, which is where Agnes was doing all these things, but humans have feet, humans have cars. Why did she need to build a portal? Why couldn't she just walk out or drive out? Or I don't understand.
Phoebe just looks at you confused because she's obviously missing like 3 episodes worth of content, and says, well, if Agnes wants to leave Kingsport so badly, we'll help her get her wish.
But we care if she leaves alive or dead, or do you definitely want her dead?
I reserve the right to change my mind.
But as of this now, what do you want?
1 alive Agnes and 1 dead Agnes.
And the less angry one has to be the dead one. Okay.
Just the opposite of what we know now to be true. Hey guys, why don't we take a break?
Yes, I think so. Oh dear.
So I thought maybe we should catch up with Agnes. The Agnes classic, as it were.
Yeah. So this Agnes wakes up, sitting on a chair, listening to and wakes up to whatever the hell Chloe is, or whatever wakes up in the boarding house. Basically, I don't know what's happening since she fell asleep.
All of them are there, and the professor is saying, "Well, I mean, I'm as afraid of going back there as you are, Finn, but we have Jack with us this time. He's very capable, and yes, I know what you're going to say, that we're up against some sort of supernatural menace, but he will prove his mettle, if nothing else, helping us to escape this time. And we have Miss Murphy, who is a local guide and one who is well acquainted with these supernatural matters. And I think with that and the letter, we should be. I think we're much better prepared than we were when we saw poor Philip. And at the very least, we owe it to poor Philip that we determined to see what happened to him after. And if he needs to be laid to rest, we should lay him to rest. We owe him that much.
I think Agnes makes a big yawn. I think she does legit do a big yawn, even though from her perspective she wasn't sleeping a couple of seconds ago. It's just sorry. Is a plan's being made? I presume. She says,
yeah, the professor wants us to go to this haunted house out in the woods in the middle of the night because he thinks that's a good idea.
Well, well, there are worse ideas, but as the professor says, you want to find out about Mr. Liebnick's the cause of his demise. What better way to do that than to go to the source?
Yes, Miss Murphy, I feel that I have not been entirely honest with you in our purposes here. We have known that. You see, Philip died in our company, or at least in mine and Finn's, and well, I mean, we think he died. We did not see his actual demise. It was shocking. The whole affair. We were led to this house by a letter that was discovered. Well, most mysteriously, actually. A colleague of mine in the comparative literature department was purchasing books in France. This must have been almost 30 years ago. And he purchased a perfectly ordinary copy of The King in Yellow for our archives, and held within it, he discovered a letter from Finch Greenwood, late of Kingsport Town. talking about the Moore House and his many attempts to do something there that was not entirely clear to us, but, well, I like a good mystery as much as any man. I've had a few encounters in my day with things that were not easily explainable. There are many strange things about being a professor at Miskatonic University. It's very strange. I mean, one becomes accustomed to being issued an office key, a new cubbyhole. I did not expect a talisman to be among the normal equipment that was issued to us at the start of each term, but all in all, it has served us extremely well. If only it worked about attendance. Well, that's neither here nor there.
I think like Agnes in her befuddled state, not expecting to hear, kind of like half of that kind of comes in and out. It's just okay. So all right. I guess the details don't matter. What matters is clearly your purpose here. It should be fulfilled. It's just, beg your pardon. It's been such a long day. I would like just a reminder of what we've agreed upon, Professor. That's quite important to me.
Well, you were so kind as to get us this piece of very valuable genealogical information. That gives me some idea as to what we might encounter. Because it's quite fascinating, but if you look here, I did not realize this, but it seems that this Fortune Greenwood, who was one of the 4 girls supposedly put on trial, though as is made clear on this parchment, 2 of those girls were not actually on trial. And Agnes Moore vanished before the trial even happened. It's amazing how the record can get it right. Ephraim Moore. Sorry, man. It's not entirely my fault.
I know.
Ephraim Moore apparently vanished long before. But in any case, this is the same Greenwood family as this Finch Greenwood whose letter I read, and this Greenwood family that owns the academy. It cannot be a coincidence. It must have some greater meaning. But
Well,
I believe you had agreed to show it. What actually? Time out. I don't remember what it is because I didn't do the video yet. So
yeah, I think we can say that other Agnes did agree to like show them the place. The main thing is like that this Agnes doesn't know is that like other Agnes warned them about her, about watching out for an Agnes that doesn't have the scar on their cheek.
yes.
Which is now that Agnes who warned them.
Now, well, I'm sure that we're going to encounter many unusual things. As you yourself have said, you have a doppelganger running around the town. But I feel that if we do not do this now, it shan't be done at all. This is our time. We have you as our ally. The Greenwoods are discombobulated. Their power has waned enormously. It's now or never. Finn, agree with me. And Finn's like, okay, sure, Uncle. Sure, that makes sense.
I'm quite in agreement, Professor. In fact, I do know of where a Greenwood may be, in a place that's important to yourself, to your mystery. After I agree to show you about, and what better place than that very house.
Yes.
It is called the Moore House for rather salacious reasons, but I have those reasons have made me firm in my belief that it is connected to this letter and to this account. Bro, the name Moore shows up there, and I'd be happy to show you.
After all, this, as you say, this doppelganger of mine has been running rampant. She shouldn't be allowed to be. I fear what would happen if she were to still be around.
Well, and I think the PI is like, yeah, we can take care of that if I know which one to shoot. And worst comes to worst, I'll just shoot both of you.
I'd prefer if you don't.
I would prefer. I don't get my kick shooting little girls, man. That's not my gig. I'm not one of those kinds.
Oh, don't worry. She's not a little girl. She's an aberration. And I know what you feel. I think that this Agnes, like sits up straighter. I forget she's in her darkest self. And I know how you feel about aberrations, Mr. Wrigley.
Yeah, well, what I want to know from you, Miss Murphy, is what is it you're gonna do to keep us from getting, gaffed by this ghast, because I got better things to do with my life than to get killed by some no account dead Puritan.
Well, I think like Agnes feels like there's the wound on her cheek, which must have been bad at some point. Well, she wouldn't have this for one thing.
Right. I mean, we know about your apparition, but what are you gonna do in the house to keep us from, ending up like their friend? 'Cause that's important to me.
Well, I shall simply stick to you people as much as I can. In fact, once we enter the house, if you will not mind, Miss Bonton, if you will not mind, have let's see, how would she phrase? Now she would just go straight for it. If we don't mind us holding hands for the entire time we're at the house, that way it'll be it won't be, we won't be able to mix up myself and my other.
Well, all right, if you insist, though, I gotta tell you, my slumber party days are done. At least the kind of slumber parties where you just slept.
Well, I'm not much for sleeping, so I'm with you there, Miss Bonton.
Well, I mean, if you insist, if it'll help keep us safe, that's all I care about. Because I'm with Jack. I don't want to get killed by no ghost.
Ghosts, there. I had a thought and then went away, so I need to close Discord because it's just a turn. I think this could be a turn on. There's no subtlety to this, Agnes. And she'll lean forward and just say, "Oh, don't worry, Miss Bonton. I've experience with ghosts. I'll make sure that they don't come for you. If you need me to.
Roll plus hot.
Yeah. That's a 10.
Take your string. She gets
which Agnes.
She gets embarrassed and awkward and goes, well, just so, just so you know, I didn't say that I gave up my days of slumber parties with girls.
It must be tiring having to hang out with all these men all the time, Miss Bonton.
Oh, I mean, men have their points. Yeah.
They have a point.
If you're lucky.
Oh, I feel like I've taken a step in playing Monster Hearts. This is a lot.
Well, I suppose we should go. We can drive for a while, but after that, I'm afraid we'll have to go on foot. But we've brought electric torches. Mr. Wrigley and Finn have brought pistols. I am not trusted with a firearm any longer, but I have brought several books that I think would be useful, including at last resort a Puritan Bible, because one never knows. Henry gave me this oddly shaped fetish. I think it's from Australia. It may do something. We're deep in uncharted water. Actually, you would know more about these things, probably, Miss Murphy. I have great respect that you've managed. Ethnographically, by the way, you're extremely interesting. I'm very interested to learn what sort of idiolectic form of the ancient witch religion you have preserved in your family, or how you came upon this, but I'm afraid that we'll all have to wait for debriefing at some future time. If you do come to Miskatonic, I would love to have you as one of my research assistants at some point, or as a subject for research. There's a paper in this, is what I'm saying, Miss Murphy. There's a paper in this.
Agnes had been looking into Chloe's eyes, and then Professor just kind of like put it in. It's like that will all have to wait after tonight, Professor. We have things that need to be done.
Now, as is the tradition of our little group, I believe this calls for a toast of something highly illicit and extremely alcoholic. Jack, if you would. And so Jack hands out a flask of some real rock-up whiskey. Well,
Agnes, oh, go ahead.
Here's blood in your eye, kid.
Let's hope so, sir. And she'll down the whiskey in one go, and she's never felt more alive, I guess. Thinking all that.
So Jack picks up a sawed-off shotgun, and when you guys get down to the car, he takes the right-hand seat. And off you guys drive into the woods. Okay. So, Phoebe, do you take the car this time?
I think the car is the only way to make sure that we don't get heard by the horse, making noise or anything like that. So yeah, I think we take the car this time. And of course, if Mumsy tries to say anything about it, I slap her silly.
Okay, not shoot her. Got it. Yeah,
She's
no.
still my mother.
Okay, fair. But is she really?
Genetically, yes. Spiritually, debatable.
Cool. No, you don't have any trouble. You just go down and take the car. So it's you and Vrijeme, I guess. And what's your plan? Are you going to try and find other Agnes first, or?
Yeah, actually, before we head out, I would like to take a moment to gaze into the abyss.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I'm very tapped into my family legacy right now, so I'm sure that this can't go wrong for me.
Not at all.
Actually, it's still a 7, so...
That's fantastic. Yeah. So what was it you were trying to find?
I want to put a stop to Agnes Murphy Prime before she gets in my way.
Put a stop. Okay. How are you gazing into the abyss?
Oh, I think that this happened probably like literally the moment like after Vrijeme and I had that conversation. Like maybe Vrijeme like turns away to go like try to figure it out or something, and I literally just like stand there in like the drive to the house with like the wind whispering out of the woods, and my hair starts to billow around me again, and I look a little disheveled, a little hot mess, but I'm listening to the whispers of the trees, and I want I want Fortune Greenwood to speak to me and tell me what to do.
Terrifying visions. Huh? Okay. Um, so you're listening to the wind whisper, and slowly you begin to hear strange words, maybe Latin, you're not sure. And then you realize with a shock that you're speaking those words. And you have a vision of Agnes Prime running through the town and suddenly tripping and falling flat on her face and sort of just flopping around in the dirt. And when you come to, you feel fine except for all the blood that's leaked out of your eyes.
This is fun.
Yeah, this is fine.
This is fine.
This is fine.
My birthright.
Is it though?
I bring the medical kit.
There's a very like tender oh no, like it's a tender moment. Nurse me back
Oh
to
my
health.
God, you're right.
I was just gonna like, like scene spot it, but yeah, let's do this.
You're right. I'll just sort of like gently wipe the blood out from underneath your eyes, just sort of dab it. Like you're a precious gem that I don't want to mar with my touch.
Roll plus hot for you.
Seriously? That's my worst stat.
Yeah, well, that's what makes this entertaining.
So I rolled a 7, but I'm sure that it's actually lower than that. Let me just
It
double.
is. It's a 6 unless you have a string you can spend.
The only string I have is on Agnes. I have 2 conditions, weirdo and insecure. I could spend insecure. No, I can't because I don't have that move.
Yeah.
I don't actually have that move, so no, that's just a 6.
That's fun.
Mind you, I now have that move because I have now failed and will take that move.
Somebody took a string on you, Phoebe. That's literally what I put on the NPC chart. Somebody.
What more could I really ask for? Especially, did I maybe murder someone?
No, Agnes Prime is alive, and you're pretty sure you know exactly where she is.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So there's this whole thing where, also, should I take 1 harm, I guess? Because I was bleeding out my eyes?
Take a harm.
Sounds about
So
right.
I guess, you were healed possibly with erotic subtext. So.
Okay. Well, yeah, so we'll take the harm. But what happens is like Vrijeme like tries to buff away the blood and everything and leave me beautiful, but I don't care anymore. And so I push his hands away. No, it's not that I push his hands away. It's the thing where like I'm kind of there and I'm like low-key catatonic. And then he's trying to brush the blood away. And I just grab the wrist and I say, "We need to go pick something up." And I drag him to the car. And we drive through town to the place where I saw a vision of Agnes collapsing.
So Agnes Prime, when the car gets close enough, you finally feel the binding break enough that you can stagger up.
Lovely.
Yeah. Ain't it though? But you can see Phoebe. Are you driving? I guess you have to drive.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm very cosmopolitan in the fact that I know how to drive.
I would not put Vrijeme in charge of any moving vehicle.
Definitely not. I mean, we say he's my cousin, but I still don't trust him. At least with automobiles. Math, sure. But yeah, I think that like we pull over and I step down and, like take a step forward and say, Agnes, are you okay? I would hate to hear that something terrible happened to you.
A lot of terrible things have been happening to me all day, Greenwood. This is just the topper. This is just the icing, I guess. Icing.
Well, I would hate to see more terrible things happen to you. I don't know if that's a threat. I feel like it's an obvious threat. So should I like roll shut down? Remember?
The threat of shut. Yeah, roll it. Sure.
I do have the condition caught out, if you want to tag that, because I'm clearly caught out in more ways than one.
It doesn't matter because I rolled an 11 and I have a +1, so that's a 12.
Okay.
Yeah. So as far as my shutdown goes, I'm gonna give you the condition pawn. No, plaything. Plaything.
Oh, terribly familiar now.
Now we're back to normal. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
You quote Blackadder, as private parts to the gods are we, they play with us for their pleasure.
And I think of it without you even saying, like being able to respond to that, I grab you by the hand and I start to pull you towards the car and say, let's get you somewhere where we can make sure that you're okay.
Greenwood, I don't think I trust your definition of okay.
Would you prefer I define you another way?
I think Agnes turns like Vrijeme. It's just, and you're just going to let her define me in whatever way she wants.
You're working with the invaders.
What?
I warned you.
Working? I don't know what the hell that other Agnes is doing, but all that is in my future. All I did was walk home, be accosted by her, and now I'm doing whatever I can to save my skin. It involves having to throw my lot with them, and I'm sorry about that.
Do you really think that throwing your lot in with a bunch of outsiders is going to be the way that you may get out of this alive, Agnes? Kingsport has stood for centuries and will stand for centuries afterwards. And whether you want to be a part of it or not, you are of Kingsport.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't have gone to them, but I was desperate. I don't know. I wasn't up against them. I was up against me. And if I knew me, I knew what I was going to do. One of us is going to die today, because that's just how it works.
There can't be two of you. That's true.
So why do I have to be the one to die?
You don't. As so long as you are on the right side.
I don't want to be in this car. This is a lot. That much is true. But I don't know if she'll have a choice to get out of here.
I mean, if somebody has a string on you, they could offer it.
I do have a string, as it turns out.
So you do. You could offer that in exchange for an experience point.
It's the last session. Want a string? Want an experience point?
All right. How is Vrijeme tempting Agnes to do what he wants.
The other you is with them now, right?
Probably.
Then the other you is trying to do what we want done. So if you're with us and you're not helping them, it may solve itself, right? The other you might die trying to help us hurt them.
If I know me, and I like to think I do, what she's trying to do is help them to kill me. Because that was what I was trying to do.
Are you smart enough to have convinced them to abandon their mission in order to kill you?
If I were me, I'd be smart enough to convince them that their mission and killing me are one and the same.
Then you need to stay with us because otherwise it'll be you against you and them. The math just works out that way, okay?
I'm sorry, but neither of the two options seem that tempting.
There is no third.
Trust me, working with somebody who made a plan to kill themselves in a way that is not what that sounds like is also not our ideal plan either.
Funny enough, Agnes was heading towards a third option, but I don't think she'll get there tonight.
She can totally try. I mean, you know, we're in Kingsport. It is that night.
Yeah, it is that night. I do want Agnes to try. It's like I just want to be sure that like it's okay for
I'm fine
Agnes
with
to
it.
try. Is it okay? I know Phoebe's like done a lot of work too.
Sorry,
But
just clarify. What's the third option? Like
Kingsport head.
Kingsport head. She has an appointment with a dark lady.
Yeah, no, if you totally tried to sabotage it, like Greenwoods don't always have to win. They just end up doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Ow. Yeah.
So are you trying to run away or what?
Yeah, I think before we like get to the car. Phoebe still has that time cube, right?
Yes, but I have not made that clear to you at all.
Agnes would not know, and she wouldn't have realized that she had it on her. Anyway, she wouldn't know that it's been turned into a weapon against her. I'm just reminding, I guess, for putting that out for everyone to remember. I think Agnes is gonna try to break away. I'm just not sure how. Nice, there's a move for that.
I mean, frankly, making a run for it is a perfectly reasonable way to try to break away.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna try to do that. Could fail. I'm down for it failing. So I'm gonna reject that string.
Fair.
Because either option sounds fun, honestly. This Agnes is just fed up. She's had a really bad day. Okay. Oh, it's great. That's Snake Eyes. There we go. I still get an XP anyway, but bad stuff will happen.
Bad stuff will happen. So, Phoebe, what would be the worst thing you would do if you saw Agnes trying to run away?
Oh gosh. Either it would be one of these two things. I would either this is heavy. I would try to mesmerize them to just break their personality, first and foremost. Probably like trying to like gaze into the abyss to do so. Or I would straight up just like shoot them.
Let's go with the mesmerize, because I'm pretty sure even in your darkest self, you're probably considering perhaps I shouldn't just gun people down in Kingsport.
It's like
No, it's in
iffy.
there.
It's iffy.
No, it's in there. I mean, of course, the thing about Kingsport is you don't want to just shoot random people because you don't know if some of them it doesn't work.
Sometimes it doesn't. It's true.
Why don't you roll to mesmerize, my little hottie?
Please, 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 please. Oh, that's a 13.
This dice roller has a sense of drama. And
yes, it does. Tonight it's working out extremely well for me. So Agnes, I have fun and important news for you. The bad news is you find yourself getting into the car against your will. This is terrible. It's terrifying. You know what it does? It makes you really, 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 really mad. Why don't you have a big side servant of darkest self?
Lovely. Okay. It'll make me work extra hard to differentiate these two. It's great.
There are no good Agnes says this.
Weird thing is, I'm the monstrosity from out of time, and I haven't laid a hand on Agnes.
Seriously. I'm going to get you guys on a Mobius strip of infinite Agneses by the time we're done. So long story short, you drive out to the house. I mean, you drive out to the woods and then you walk to the house. But, for at least 2.5 of you, the woods hold no terror. Because, you're as scary as anything in them. I mean, that's what you tell yourself. It's a fun fact. You pass by at some point the another car, the one that belongs to Chloe and company. And as you approach the house, the Moore house, which is a ramshackle, falling apart old Cape Cod, better shape than it should be, but worse shape than you'd want to live in. You can see the dancing beams of their electric torches on the inside.
I'm not going in there. Do we all want to wait here? Because we have no quarrel with whoever's in that house. We just have a quarrel with the intruders.
Now I have a much better idea. Agnes, dear, why don't you go ahead and use your little gifts to give everybody inside a little extra dosage of hysteria? And I'm going to offer you a string to cast hallucinations on everyone inside the house.
Do that? I guess I can do that with Agnes. On Agnes. And darkest self means things could happen.
I mean, you're willing to chance you could do it. I guess it's one target, or actually, it's never been entirely made clear, is it?
Yeah.
Her hexes will have side effects and be more powerful.
No. I'm well aware of that.
Yeah, I'm imagining that, I can basically, I'm assuming that, as Phoebe, that Agnes can do an area of effect kind of thing.
Of course, because, you know that she's a full casting class with, every other, only every third level BAB progression. So.
I think Agnes, either way, you have her mesmerized, so she doesn't really have much of a choice. So I think she will, at least, her more rational mind's oh God, Greenwood's an idiot. But it's a tiny, tiny voice. So I think she'll kind of let's see, what would she have that the other Agnes would also have? Because the only thing they share really is that apron. I'm gonna assume she has something on her that Agnes also has.
Theoretically, you could literally pluck a hair out.
Yeah. I think I'll just do that. Okay, so I'll take that XP. Jesus, if I can get another advance before the night is done. I think, yeah, I'll pluck like a hair out and kind of like twist it around my finger and kind of like start murmuring to it. And yay, first target roll targeting myself. Uh, this could only end well. Sadly, I don't have a string on myself, I think. Well, that's an 11, so there you go.
Vrijeme is doing the wrong kind of math in his head and is realizing that he is coincidentally in the same town as Wilbur Whately, which is the sort of thing Phoebe said to look for coincidences.
Cool. So what you see, Agnes, is simultaneously with with being able to see the flashlight beams from inside the house. Actually, let me switch over. Agnes, not Agnes Prime. You're downstairs with everybody. They're like flashing their lights around. The professor's looking into something. When through the wall of the house, you see Finn and Philip, who, is dead, walking in, holding candles, looking around, going, you can like just hear their ghostly voices talk. They're both kind of spooked, and one's like, "We should wait for the prof," and Finn's like, "No, we've got to push on, Phil." And without thinking, you see they hold hands together. And when Finn and the prof turn around and see this, they go white as a sheet. And they're like, "It's happening again."
Can Agnes recognize this as a hex, or is it just spooky stuff?
I don't know. Why don't you gaze deeply into the dark drink of the abyss?
Yeah, I think like her hold on Chloe's hand tightens quite a bit, and just because they're still holding hands, and she'll just kind of whisper, "Miss Bonton, please just stick with me. Also, don't mind what I'm about to say for the next couple of seconds." And she'll kind of like stare at the floor, kind of like making the cracks and the mirror kind of like not show, but like kind of imagining them on the floor. And she's kind of like murmuring to herself, finding out, try to figure out where the hell is Agnes Prime. It's a 10.
Okay. The manifestation is definitely a hex being generated by Agnes. That's obvious. However, the form of the manifestation is definitely being influenced by that dark presence that's watching you. So please ask me a question. You can ask me a question about anything. My favorite Jethro Tull album is Minstrel in the Gallery, as for instance.
Hey, okay, all right, that's good. It's good to know. What's your favorite gig you've been to? Okay, no, I'm kidding. I don't need to know that right now. Yeah. Can I know if other Agnes is alone right now? Can I see?
Is other Agnes alone? No, 100% not. Also, you can feel her irrational, dark beating rage against you. I mean, it feels very familiar. You should probably be worried about the fact that you guys are slowly converging.
Yeah, and she doesn't have her time. This Agnes doesn't have her time cube with her. She has a rad wound, but that's about it.
Four corner days, my friend. That's important.
Uh,
As it turns out, we didn't realize, but the Time Cube website was in fact a Mythos text.
of course. Agnes will speak up and say, "She's outside."
Oh, you mean the other one? Oh,
Yes,
I
she's
see.
outside. She's producing this effect. I think Miss Bonton, you felt this effect before. After I did show you, to ask, she's outside. She's generating all of this right now.
Well, I gotta admit, this is very creepy. Maybe we ought to beat a considerate retreat here, Doc. And Wrigley just says, "I'm gonna go take care of them." And he reaches up, he gets to the door, he yanks it open, and it pulls right out of his hand and slams hard. You guys on the outside see that. You see, for a second, the door opens, you can see the beam of a flashlight, and then it goes wham! And the light inside the house, all the lights begin to flicker.
It seems the house is doing what we expected it to.
We should be going.
We have to make sure that what's done is done.
Vrijeme knows that Phoebe's right, but Vrijeme's got this problem. Vrijeme wants something.
Yeah, you're going to get really in trouble when you get back. What did they tell you? Human emotions are the circular room of the soul.
Vrijeme did not understand the terminology of want. The want is not part of the equation. This makes no sense, but there is want there.
Turned out it was an imaginary number after all.
Yeah, I thought it was. Well, I'm working out my math to try and figure out how to get this letter to Wilbur and when to propose we meet, since as far as I can tell, if I can work out when he dies, I have to be there at that time because that's the only way this has any chance of working.
Oh my God. That's fun. I mean,
yeah,
I can look up the date. It's in Wikipedia.
I know, but the exact date doesn't matter. It's.
So what are you guys gonna do? It sounds like something's going on in the house. You, of course, are going to be perfectly safe because you're more than 5 feet away, and everybody knows that spooky stuff has an extremely pronounced inverse square relationship.
Yeah, Vrijeme knows better. Vrijeme's backing away, coincidentally, of course, in the direction of Waitley Land.
Phoebe stands her ground, but while she's doing this, she's also toying with the shining trapezohedron in her pocket and is going to gaze into the abyss. Yeah. Gaze into the abyss because I'm sure that the woods has a lot to say about this. That is a 5.
Cool. So interesting fact. Apparently that door opens from the outside because when the next thing you know, you're standing in the living room. Agnes, you see Phoebe walk in the house kind of with her eyes golden glazed over and then blinks slowly, like, wait a second. By this point, Wrigley's already got his pistol. Actually, he's got the sawed-off shotgun. He's like, what the fuck?
Wait, just so I understand it, are Vrijeme and Agnes in the house of the three of us outside, or just Phoebe?
Just Phoebe.
Phoebe is in the house. Agnes Prime and Vrijeme are still outside.
I'm gonna grab Agnes and run away from the house.
Agnes Prime, counter offer, or?
I'm as much as I don't like Vrijeme right now, I like him a lot more than Phoebe, and he wants to take me in his arm. I'm not going to say no.
with sexy results. Vrijeme, do me a favor. Please roll plus volatile and let's see what happens. This will be entertaining. Yeah, this will be very entertaining.
So my volatile is -1.
That is correct.
That would normally be a 6. I did take the hollow move about embodying my condition. Does that apply here? Because I have insecure.
I would say insecure does apply, but that still only makes it a 6, doesn't it?
No, that would make it a 7. I rolled 6-1, -1 is 6.
Yes, then. That's fun. Cool. Please choose. Do you run into something worse, cause a big scene, or do you leave something behind?
Tempting as leave something behind is, I think it's time we ran into something worse.
Fantastic. I'm going to get to you in just a second.
Sure.
So, Agnes, Phoebe, Jack Wrigley's got a sawed-off shotgun pointed at Phoebe. Chloe is grabbing Agnes's hand hard. The professor's like, now everybody, let's be calm and rational about this. And that's when all the flashlights turn off simultaneously.
I was definitely positioning myself in front of like Chloe when that happens.
What do you guys do?
Phoebe immediately moves out of the line of fire using the cover of darkness. But, oh God, my one move is useless here. No one can see me.
Why didn't you roll to keep your cool?
God, I am so afraid that I'm going to catch a chest full of buck right now.
That would be a good thing to be afraid of. It may not be the right thing to be afraid of, but it's definitely one of the things to be afraid of.
Okay, well, I forgot about my +1 forward, so I'm going to use it right now because I need it to make that to a 7.
Yes, that would be a good time to use it. So yes, let's go with that. So as you move, you walk through a cold spot. So your choice: either you keep going that direction, or you stay where you are definitely still within the smell and hearing range of a pretty crazed Great War vet with a shotgun.
Afra, come home. I'm going to keep walking.
Cool. So you run upstairs and kind of come up short because you walk into a room and for one thing, the rug looks quite good. It's not weather damaged at all. Another, there are several lovely candles burning. Of course, the fact that they're burning at the corners of a pentagram is somewhat disturbing.
Cool. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff here that you don't know, but what's strange is somehow it all reminds you of Agnes. And that's when someone says behind you, Art Greenwood?
Without turning around, I tense up and I just say, I.
But thou hast not the gift.
Perhaps.
Much thou like thine uncle.
That's when I spin around and it's like, what do you know about my uncle?
Oh, cool. There's nobody there. I'd like to cut down to Agnes real quick. What do? You heard Phoebe run upstairs.
I think Agnes is gonna like concentrate on keeping this party calm. And we'll just kind of say, Professor Finn, Mr. Wrigley, are you are you all still there?
Like, yeah, we're all right. Indubitably, old girl. And Finn says, "Holy shit, we've got to get out of here." I think Finn is tugging on the door, trying to get it open. He's like, "Jack, shoot out the windows. We got to get out of here." I don't know what's wrong with you people, but this is stupid. We gotta go.
Finn, please, calm down. There's no need to start breaking anything. You might only make things worse. Let's all just calm. Don't. Do you want to follow Liebknecht or not?
If we don't get out of here, that's what's going to happen to us.
Judging from what we saw, maybe that's what you want.
Yeah, that's why with the ghost locked us in the house.
It'll be fine, Finn. Just okay. You can't see me, but I'm looking at you right now. Just don't do anything stupid. That's all. I'm reaching out for your hand. You reach for anyone's. Same with you, Professor. Same with you, Wrigley. Same with you, Chloe. It's all just find each other.
You feel Chloe grab your hand. You're like, "I got you, Agnes. I got you, Prof." The professor's like, "I've got your hand, Finn." And Wrigley says, I've got your hand, Finn. I don't feel you, Agnes, which is very strange to you because somebody's holding your hand.
I knew it.
Come on, you can't put one down the plate like that for me.
I think I'll have to keep my cool. I
think that would be a good plan.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is I'm hoping this is a friendly hand. I'm afraid it's not. It won't be.
On verra.
That's a 5.
That's fantastic.
Oh, that's a 4. That doesn't matter.
You lose your mind and run upstairs in terror. Chloe's probably trying to chase after you, like, "Where are you going? It's not safe. We gotta forward the cycle." And so you stumble up in the room like, "Hey, wow, that's like a lot of the stuff from my portal. What the hell is it doing up here?" So Agnes and Vrijeme, you guys are running through the darkling woods.
Yep.
Under a moon.
Yep.
And Vrijeme, you stop short because what you see something with your, you're limited while you're in human form. You don't have your full 15-dimensional chronosight, but you're capable of noticing things far easier than people. I mean, you see better in the dark, all kinds of nice stuff, which is why, you can see those big, deep tracks in the trail ahead of you that, you don't see anything that's formed, and you don't see beyond a certain point in the trail, and you certainly don't see anything that's making them, but you do see that the tracks go to a certain point right in front of you and stop.
I stop and call out in Aklo, Wilbur's brother?
You just hear a pained shout of rage, which, Agnes, sounds like the worst thing in the world. It's sort of like somebody shoved a steam locomotive going 80 miles an hour through a grinding machine, maybe.
Yeah.
During the 4th of July, while somebody was being murdered outside your room, and a vixen was screaming next to it.
Yeah, even when Sharon Agnes like kind of like shivered violently, I think she's still kind of like getting over whatever the hell Phoebe did. But that, that's not great. That's not great. I'm in my darkest self. I kind of like. I think I'm still in Vrieme's arms, but I'm gonna try to like probably rather violently um um break free from Vrijeme.
Are you
I
running? Are you running away or?
Hmm. I guess it's more like just like if when I try to break free from Vrijeme, I would just make sure it's like sudden and like violent, I guess.
fine by me.
Are you gonna lash out with physical violence?
Yeah, yeah. And this is like the most, because I'm imagining this Agnes's darkest self. This is her being desperate and just afraid.
Let me guess, we both suck at volatile.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Sadly, our unicorn was the one who was best at volatile, which was
know.
amazing. But yeah, let's see this. Wow.
Oh,
So that's 3.
Entertaining.
wow.
So you shove at Vrijeme, which was probably a bad idea because Vrijeme instinctually was holding himself 15-dimensionally in place. And when you shove Vrijeme, you slide right through time and find yourself staring at a pentagram with candles around it that looks like a lot of your stuff from your portal. And Agnes is there along with Phoebe. the
I know what this Agnes first instinct to do. They're gonna they see other Agnes and they're gonna like straight up jump for their throat. Just kind of like crazy. Both of them are in a crazed state. But this Agnes heard a horrific cry of whatever the fuck. So she'll react first.
Sure, why don't you lash out physically because this will work
I'm gonna
really
keep
well.
rolling.
Yeah.
This is gonna go.
How many experience points can you earn in one session? Let's find out.
I'm one off from getting another advance. That's a 9.
That is a 9. So cool. You've got a choice of 2. You learn something about your true nature and they gain a string on you. The MC decides how bad the harm turns out.
Yeah.
Giving yourself a string could be a very dangerous thing.
Yes, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, cool. Meanwhile, original flavor Agnes takes a harm. So what does original flavor Agnes want to do?
Oh, let's see. Original flavor Agnes. This reminds me I'd never used up her advance. Not sure. She's being strangled right now. I think that's what's happening.
Well, probably, throwing each other off kind of thing.
Yeah, I think there is a scuffle for sure, which Phoebe is like witness to now. Two Agneses like trying to like
got the stunt doubles in.
Yeah, trying to kill each other.
I of course stole the plot entirely from an episode of Full House. So.
Oh yeah, this is the finale where we got the two twins to act off each other. Yeah. God. I want to see what Phoebe does first because I have no idea. Because I think right now the two Agneses are in the middle of a fight.
Okay, well, in that case, since you're giving me a golden opportunity, the two of you both get slammed into opposite walls of the room. And your very cold voice say, "How like unto sisters thou art, truly, for thou fightest among thyselves. Hath not brought thee here for that purpose. Thy conflict can be resolved. Anon. Here do thou that service which is desired of thee, and no more, and all shall be well."
I think well, okay. I need to determine which Agnes says this.
Maybe they both do.
Yeah.
You are converging slowly. But
Yeah, I think both Agnes will say, "Oh no, I think they both say, I don't want a clean fucking ending for her. I'm not here to make this right, whoever the hell you are."
silence. Do thou the service that we request, and the means of settling thy conflict shall be at hand.
I think I guess both of them are trying to. They're both slammed against the wall. They're not like pinned, are they?
No, they got thrown. They can get back up.
Okay.
We hast here the greenwood. 'Tis necessary. 'Tis sympathetic magic, a subject thou shouldst be most interested in, I think. I knew not of these things in life. One canst not haunt the dales and woods of Dunnytown without thou pickest gleanings. Here thou we hast the sympathetic magic. Here thou we have the greenwood. And most powerfully well we have a greenwood. For thou, young Miss Greenwood, thou art the key to this entire riddle, and I shall finally be discharged of the service I still owe thy family. And thy dam, who most importuned quite often upon my friendship, and my dealings unto the spirits. 'Tis always the same, the popular girl.
Phoebe was so scared up until that. And then you reminded her who she was. Phoebe takes out the shining trapezohedron and realizes that it had some sort of trickery with getting me into the house, and realizes that, well, if I can't use it, I'm sure something terrible might happen if I smash it. So, I'm sure, like, I kind of gauge wherever Ephra's voice was coming from, and I just lob it right at that space.
That's fun. That's fun. Just out of curiosity, I want to see something. Well, yeah, no, it works out the same, but thematically it feels better. It's just lash out physically, but roll with dark. I know they're the same, but I feel like I should at least say these things. Oh, that's fun.
It's a 6. Yeah, it's great. But I really wanted that so I could level up.
That's a good plan. Agneses, somebody lobs the shining trapehedron in the air. What do you do?
We both go for it.
That's fantastic. Roll to keep your cool.
Both of us?
Just one of you. Just roll Leandro, and I'll figure something out.
Okay. That's fair. We're both we are converging. No need to complicate things any further. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me complicate just one thing. I just remembered what move I was going to take for original Agnes.
Something terrible.
Okay, cool. I just set that up. Okay. Keep it cool. I would very much not want to be disintegrated by what's going to happen. Let's see. Cool is with cold, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's an 8. I'm going to assume that's going to be for both of them. They both have the same stats.
Oakley dokley. You can take hold of it, but if you do, it's going to release some power.
I think what we see is both Agnes have their right hand going for it, and they clasp with two hands with the trapezoid in between, and they look at each other with this burning kind of like hatred for the other.
Okay. So wait, did you let it drop or did you?
We both held on to it. It's like it's trapped between our two hands.
Oh, cool. Nothing terrible is about to happen.
God knows.
Okay, actually, something terrible happens. The pentacle cracks open, and Phoebe, somebody starts crawling out of it.
Is there a family resemblance?
Yes.
Oh gosh. Okay. Oh god, I have to gaze into the abyss right now. It's really the only. I reach forward and take their hand and gaze into the abyss. It's a 3.
I love you. Give me 1 second to find an appropriate thing. You take their hand and you look at their eyes, and centuries of horror wave down on you, and you shudder at how long they've been imprisoned. At least to them, there's something telling you that they experienced it as far longer than it actually happened. Please take a harm. And the person slowly kind of spits out this black ichor until it can get their voice working, and she looks at you and says, What's your name, Greenwood?
My name is Phoebe.
No. My name is Phoebe.
I would like to use my new move now. I am going to invoke the forest's breath. When you feel really homesick, the forest brings something that it thinks will make you feel better. I pull the Phoebe up and I embrace her, and I try to pull her out of the trap that has been set for her.
Okay. You're standing on the shingle beach underneath Kingsport Head. It's the early evening. There's a rough stone altar that's been built and decorated with seashells and gold from the deep. Candles are lit on the altar. And Phoebe is now wearing, well, actually, you're both wearing long white robes. And she looks around and goes, oh no, wait, this is where it all went. This is where it all went wrong. This is where I did what I should never have done.
Then don't do it.
I can't. It's already happened. This was the last moment I was really, really free of fear. I should never have performed the marriage. the marriage of land and sea. It's too powerful for any mortal to use nowadays. I don't know, the sea, time. It invoked the gateway. And then decades later, I met our family friend. The last thing she said to me was, "Phoebe Greenwood, strike me dead." And I died, I think, but I think I didn't. I think I did something here, and I slid somewhere else between worlds. I've been there for, wait a minute. What year do you think it is?
It's 1927.
Ah, hell. I was in there only 51 years. It felt like way longer.
Should I put you back?
No! Don't put me back!
A little appreciation would be nice.
So this was all your idea? I mean, thank you, cuz.
As much as I would like to take credit for this, there's a whole bunch of things happening now, but not this now. Oh God, I'm starting to sound like Vrijeme.
Can we go back then?
We need to.
By the way, what's with the twins?
Your guess is as good as mine, but between you and me, I think they both need to die.
So speaking of which, and Vrijeme, I'm sorry I put you on whole ice for so long. But I know you're there, so I'm going to get to you. But I want to explain something to you, Agnes and Agnes. So when you see Phoebe pull somebody out of the pentagram and they just sort of have this long moment where they're staring at each other, both of you probably realize simultaneously that there's a perfectly good interdimensional prison that somebody's just opened the door to.
Yeah.
And thus Afer's words have proved correct. The means for ending thy struggle are at hand.
God. Right. I'm gonna do this because they're both Agnes, so they both have the same idea.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Unless you want to come up with a different idea. I mean, you do have a shining trapeze drawn.
Yeah, I do want to emphasize they
Trapezoid.
change. I think one Agnes, the prime Agnes, will want to throw original Agnes into the prison. Original Agnes will use the trapezium to kill Agnes Prime. I think they both have the same realization, but the original Agnes is going to use that realization to distract Agnes Prime. I think that's how they're going to diverge.
Roll. You're both going to be rolling to keep your cool. This is what I want you to do. You guys roll one six-sided die of two different colors, right? So roll two dice, but make sure they're different colors. We're going to play Texas Hold'em, ladies and germs.
Gosh. Okay, so I've got a blue and a purple die here.
Yep.
Blue is going to be original Agnes, and purple is going to be Agnes Prime.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Hang on one second. So blue was original Agnes, and purple was Agnes Prime, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's your cold?
My code is a -1.
That's pretty awesome because you both failed then.
Oh, for God's sake. Of course. Okay. Of course they both would fucking fail. Of course they would. Ugh.
I think the only way we can adjudicate this is the two of you struggle at the edge of the pentagram, one holding the shining trapezoidhedron, the other trying to shove the other one in. There's a flash. There's a crack as the pentagram seals shut, and the Phoebes are alone in the room. What happened? Who knows? Did they both end up in the prison? Did they both annihilate each other at the edge of time? Either way, the most important thing is you got out of Kingsport.
Look, I mean, this seems par for the course. They'll end up leaving Kingsport in one way or another.
So Vrijeme, you hear that anguished shout of pain, and you see a huge man lumbering up the trail, going, "Nay, nay, brother, do not shriek so. You know you're not supposed to be out. Not at night, not at any time. You're too big now."
I had a thought. It is probably foolish, but I want to try.
Well, hello, little hound.
If I come to both of you after your end is supposed to find you, if I cannot save you, at least you will not die alone. And if I can bring you someone else, maybe. I hold out the letter with my math. I'm not supposed to want, but I want to save you both.
So Wilbur sits down on a rock. Little hound, you'll draw the wrath of Tawil if you do this.
I don't care. It's supposed to matter to me, but I don't care.
He looks long and hard at your math and says, "You know this would mean my brother's death for certain."
Can we not save him as well?
You know that he favors our master far more than I do, far more even than you, maybe. It's too big a displacement to balance, little hound.
What do you want me to do?
If I say nay, you'll still try anyway, will you not, little hound?
I'll try to be with you when you die, but if you say nay, I will not try to save you.
What do you think I should do, little hound? I was made for a wrong purpose by a wicked man.
The math says that it plays out and that I should not want. But I want. I do not even want to stop the wanting.
I've only heard of them. But mayhap the archivist could be of some use to you.
But are they of any use to you?
They are said to be able to transmigrate the souls of beings. But would they accept one such as me? Would they accept one such as you?
I don't know.
I mean, one assumes they muck around in time quite often and thus draw the wrath of him who is beyond the spheres, but
They are clever with their math.
I've never met any of them. I've only heard rumors of them.
If I have met them, they've hid themselves well.
They would have to, would they not, little hound?
Yes. If you want me to try this, I will.
Little hound, I know why you hurt so much. Perhaps it is for the reason you think, for you've been far too close to the humans. I too sometimes feel their painful, useless feelings inside me. No, little hound, this is something far, far worse for you. After such a long eternity of your existence, you finally are feeling the very first stirrings of free will. Free will.
There is no free will.
But is there not for creatures such as you?
There is no free will. It's that I feel this way is also not free will. It can't be.
Can't it, though?
Mathematically, it's impossible.
Look over there at my brother. We both share a mother. You tell me what is impossible. I'd say to you, naught is impossible if one has a cracked enough will to it.
But I understand the math of this. I don't know the math of free will.
Well, the humans believe in it.
Humans. I come to your land. You say to me, this is what I protect. If you do not threaten it, I do not threaten you. I come to the borders of their land. They say, should we break out the round room?
That's fair. Think of this, little one. It's why it may be why they leapt so quickly to my mind, but they say the archivists have the ability to decide which timeline shall be the main course of history. That is one of their jobs, that they quest up and down and find the ways to block those things that they think should not be. Perhaps they're very parochial, but it is a form of self-will, is it?
It is a theory. I have not been able to prove or disprove it. That has never been my function. It is theoretically possible.
Well, little hound, then I tell to you this to you, I cannot make this job easy for you. I know what my appointed time is, and I know what will happen to my brother. It may happen no matter what I do, and perhaps that is for the best, though. Seems a shoddy fate for a creature such as him to be done in by a bunch of librarians, but that's not my call.
Was he done in, or did he only seem to be done in?
That is not a thing that I will have any living knowledge of, little hound. All I can say to you, little hound, is I cannot make this decision. You're the one that feels this stir in your heart. Then you must decide whether or not you will have the will to do this thing. And if you do and you succeed, then I shall abide by it. And if you try and fail, well, then I am no worse off.
Then I will try to find an archivist.
Well, they hang out 75 million years ago or so, is my understanding. Actually, as long as like 500 million years, right?
As far as Vrijeme understands it, they're anywhere up and down the time stream. It's just finding them that's the problem.
Well, you have some time. It's not till August of next year. For one such as you, that's synonymous with eternity, if I understand the math correctly.
I will make the math work.
I wish you well, little hound, and I hope to see you again.
You will.
Okay. I feel like we should give Miss Phoebe Greenwood something to say on our way out. And unless Agnes has anything they want to say in the epilogue.
I will say one of them has the move short rest for the wicked. I'll just say that.
I mean, all I'm going to say to that, Leandro, is if you want to give me yet another sad girl NPC of yours,
Look, who knows what happened to the other one? Who knows?
all right, Phoebe. So this is your probably great aunt or something?
Yeah, so I assume we find some way out of the House of Horrors.
The door finally opened and the prof and his friends skedaddled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They don't even go back to the hotel room. They just drive straight to Miskatonic.
Yeah, I think that as I help Phoebe out of the house, I think that there's this moment where, oh God, it's so like CW style. Like I look out over the forest and I almost feel like I see the silhouette of a dark lady watching. But I turn my gaze away and help Phoebe into the car. And as I attempt to drive away, I think, not that dark woman and not the light of those who walk in the woods, but just of the woods. That is how we will be.
Are you going to be the first F. Greenwood to move back to Dunwich?
Maybe.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of Kingsport decades still to go. So, true story. I actually subscribe to. I made an account with the New England Historical Society website because you just want to find some bizarre crap. That one of the Kingsports I haven't tried to do yet is the one that would have been about the. It would have been based on the strikes in Lawrence in 1830. So we would have had lots of little mill girl Kingsporters going out on strike. Oh yeah, no, I had lots of stuff. There's a lot of weirdo things that happen in New England still to look at. There's that one vampire. That's an actual New England thing. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. This definitely took a turn. Well, this was great. We're gonna try and do this thing in January. I hope Serafina will be around for that. If not, I'll think about what we can do, whether we should do it or if we do some slightly alternate thing. And I am still thinking about doing Kingsport 1851, Book 2, The Voyage of the Calypso. That I'll probably do on Story Brewers, but I will let you guys know, and if you want, I'll hold you a spot. We'll get to see Phoebe Greenwood again. Who knows? Maybe this time it will be different. I mean, stuff happened. Okay, well, guys, I've kept you longer than we should. Thank you all so much.
Thanks for running.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. That was beautiful.
You're
That was a
welcome.
lot.
Yeah, that was a lot. I guess I'd missed Kingsport because apparently I decided to just make this one weird. Usually I just let you guys do that, but this time it's like, no, I'm gonna pick a hand.
Well, I mean,
The dice decided to let you have a
Yeah.
hand in it a lot.
the dice were really active there.
All right, folks. Thank you all so much. I'm really interested in the kinds of late 19th century novels she was reading.
Any of them?
I don't know. The flapper and the fireman.
Oh dear.
Hey, don't kink shame. The 20s had erotica too. And depending where you were, it was very erotic.
True.
You're just lucky this is Kingsport 1927, not Babylon, Berlin.
Vrijeme would have a much easier time in Babylon, Berlin.
Would he really, though?
Okay, maybe not.
So hey.
Amazing. I've always been at the receiving end of this. I've never flung it at someone.
We're making progress here, Leandra.
Yeah, really.
Your character had a happy ever after in the last Russian game. Today you're shutting people down. It's good. It's gross.
They're doing the planning, that's fine. I'm going to sit down and write Wilbur a love letter in Aklo.
Can you do that even?
Let's find out.
Oh my god.
What do I roll?
No. We'll figure it out, but
Okay.
that's so sexist of you.
The one who wants to be a flapper.
Also, maybe she's just feeling like still slighted by the fact that, like, you know, she was like completely snubbed by said flapper. So of course she's going to try to just be diminutive as she can.
Yeah, Agnes pointedly does not say that Chloe went to her thing, not to Phoebe's thing.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea because you would have made an enemy of Phoebe.
That's fine, dear. You do you, okay? You just gotta, you know. You just gotta keep your head aimed at the stars there, little one.
She's too powerful. I can't.
You've never reckoned with the power of my 1920s New York accent.
It's wonderful.
Oh, gosh.
I have to
It
get
feels
the two
like
of them
home.
in the scene later.
I mean, are there woods near the House of Greenwood in town?
Of course there are woods. Like the Greenwoods never live far from the woods.
Of course. You never know if you find any shirtless woodsmen nearby. Okay.
One can hope.
It's
Family
a tenet
tradition.
Passed down through the centuries.
So Willow heard that there was some bitchy infighting and turning on people and decided that she wanted to be part of this. Right. There you go, baby.
Beware the day Willow decides to GM, huh?
We know that she longs for such power.
Uh-huh.
We've seen Willow roll dice. We're all terrified. This is an adequate plan. I got to take a string on someone. Let me put somebody in here.
Oh man, I kind of want to. I don't want to follow another Greenwood. This keeps happening.
You
When
want to be?
have
Why
I
not?
ever steered you wrong?
All right. Last time you stabbed me.
You deserved it.
No, you stabbed me for what the other me did to you. Anyway.
I mean, history isn't repeating; it's merely rhyming.
Yeah. Oh God, of course.
True story. You know who the big bad of my Imp of the Perverse game is? Chastity Whitburn.
Oh my God.
She was supposed to come back at some point, right? Well,
Yeah, we never knew what happened to her.
I'm gonna go find out. You guys have written so much lore for me. It's time it pays. It's like paying off, and who knows? Kingsport can't last forever. Man. I don't know. It can run for a long time. You'll forgive us, Leandro, but we just want to multiply you so that we can, So this is the best we could do.
Oh no, that was Grand Guignol, where we had Leandro playing 4 games of the same game with a different family member in each game.
Leandro,
Yeah,
you are the
enough.
Alec Guinness of my online circle. You are the kind hearts and coronets.
Yep.
Oh my. Who says the later Kingsport sessions can't? The later Kingsport adventures can't affect the prior Kingsport adventures. There's no good reason why they can't.
There's a split timeline now.
The Greenwoods and the Sad AM girls always try to kill each other. Is that a thing?
Not always.
From the beginning.
Just didn't Fortune and Aphra get along okay?
No.
No. God, no.
She kamikazed herself into the meeting hall to throw me under the bus as a witch.
Oh yeah.
Now I remember.
Yeah. She went to everyone being like, Fortune Greenwood, that one's a witch.
Wow.